Can't open my mouth yet. Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I'm okay now. February 15th, 2006, I was killed by two cars doing 40-something miles an hour, and I was hit. I was hit so hard by the first one, it was totaled, and the second vehicle missed me because I was in the air, and I landed on top of a third vehicle and was hit again. You hear lots of stories about near-death experiences, and when you have a death experience, you can see why people are framing a near-death experience the way a person who goes through a near-death experience will always be framing their experience in their physical experience. Like, you know, it's like people talk about the light. The light is a frame because it's so different from what you're used to. The only thing that you can imagine is this light. I went through the light. I died, and I was gone for, again, since time and space and is illusion, you still have a feeling, and I felt like I was gone for 5 years. I remember coming back, and the first thought I had was, what? 5 years I was gone, and it's very confusing when you first come back. Why I came back was to deliver a gift, to let people know that you're striving for more love. You're striving to open. I want to inspire people to go through love, to grow through joy. I don't want you to grow through struggle. You don't need to do that, because once you open up to joy and fun and success and love, the whole world is beautiful again. Leading up to that, I was always a healer. So as I was learning about healing and learning that reality was an illusion and really trying to integrate that and understand belief precedes experience. And so by the time I had died, I think I was 12 years into my shaman studies, and I felt very confident. I was enlightened. I knew what was going on. I knew reality was already conforming to my will. I thought I was killing it, but I was experimenting with emotions. I started yelling when things weren't going right, and realizing that when I would get mad, the first thing in my head would be like, what the fuck, God? Why is this happening? You know, and I was a reality creator, but I still was framing God in a certain way. And I remember thinking, I need to be free of this God thing, because I know it's not right. It doesn't feel right at all. And the way that I did that, I'm a very aggressive person at heart. And so I got mad one time, and I went outside and I went to the driveway, and I was like, you know what? Fuck you. You're a dick, and I don't even think it's you, but I just got to say this. I got to confront this. And, you know, if you're going to punish me, then let me see it. Let me have it. Let me see what you got, because I bet you I can work my way around. I'm just yelling all this stuff. And nothing happened. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. This is amazing. I knew I was right. I knew, because I would have punished me if I really believed that way. And that was the moment I was the most truthful and the most honest about how I felt about you. And nothing happened. I said, so I'm on the right track. So in the shop, in my experimenting with rage and trying to learn how to process my anger appropriately, I was in the shop, and, you know, I understood this, but I didn't understand it deep enough at the time. I threw a fit about something, and I was really pissed, and I literally grabbed a floor jack and I spun it around and I just chucked it in the shop, and the thing hit a workbench, and it was like, everyone was like, and I was like, fuck this, man. I'm sick of the fucking life and the world the way it's doing. Fuck this. I want it different. I want everything different. everything, and I mean everything, god damn it. And I died the next day. Everything changed. And you see, when you're making claims and demands while you're feeling an emotion, that's how your subconscious creates a pattern to begin with. It's got to have the masculine and the feminine in a state of elevation. My thoughts have to be clear and they have to reflect my feelings, and that statement gets, boom, it's now a belief. So when I was in the process of being killed, let's say, I was laughing because as the car was hitting me, I knew I was a reality creator. I knew that at the same time, I'm creating a very hardcore reality right now. Like, I'm about to get hit. And so when I was getting hit, I was in charge of myself. I was like, I knew that I could get hit and be fine. Like, I know that this is me, and I'm aware of in the moment of what's happening to me right now. And so as the car was collapsing around me and I could feel like I was like, yeah, I got this. I'm good. You know, in the first moment, like I was running across the street, sprinting through the cars, and I'd seen headlights come in. It was just starting to get dark. And I could see they were going fast. But I was like, oh, I'm going to make it. I could see where the headlights are, and I could see where I am. And when I got to the last car and I looked, literally the car was 5 feet away, and the guy had a green light and an open lane and was just flying down a major boulevard, Sepulveda Boulevard in Los Angeles at rush hour. And I remember thinking, oh shit, I can't stop running. I'm running as fast as I can. If I try to stop running, I'm going to go down low and the car's going to like run over me, or it's going to knock the shit out of me. And I was like, okay, jump. And I'm like, oh, I'm not on the wrong leg to jump. You'll jump hard, just jump. And I just remember forcing myself on the wrong leg to jump and spin. And I saw the car coming, and the BMW just hit me in the legs, and I just saw the whole front bending. And I was like, oh, wow. And it snapped me, and I saw myself hit the hood, and I saw the hood come up, boom. And I was like, I'm good. And then I slid into the windshield, and I felt the windshield break immediately, and it felt like nothing. There was no resistance to the windshield whatsoever. It felt like a mattress. And then all of a sudden, the roof hit my back of my shoulder. When the roof hit me, it snapped me so hard that I didn't even finish the thought. And the last thought I was laughing. I was like, wow, that's the hardest I've ever been hit. Ugh. And the next thing I know, I'm out of my body and I'm dead. And I'm thinking, like when I'm dead, like, oh no, that's an accident. That was a mistake. I didn't want to die. I'm in the middle of a whole thing here in this lifetime. And then at the same time recognizing what was my thing. Belief precedes reality. Form is following function. I'm a God being. I'm enlightened. And recognizing at that moment, I was like, I could go back. When you're on the other side of space and time, you're still free-willed. You're still free and independent of everything. I don't have boundaries anymore, but I know that I'm me. And it's like you have a thought. That's what made me crack up when I first started learning about Google, because that's what you're dead. Once you're dead, if you frame an idea, the idea is now real. And all the information within the idea is given to you. So over there, you just create whatever you want. There's no inhibition, there's no resistance. Here, if I need to create something, I have to understand how I think about that. I have to understand how I feel about that. I have to look at the feedback I'm getting, make adjustments. You're learning how to be a God being in a new environment because you're the artist. The people that are in physical reality right now are people who are like, I want to learn, I want to see myself blown up in 1,000,000 billion pieces and learn how all the parts of me are interacting with my choice. You are a God being trying something beautiful. You're trying to taste and smell and feel and see what is beauty. Beauty is only here to enhance your experience in the physical. Beauty is the gift of the goddess to enhance your experience, to want you to want more beauty. You are a badass to be here. And you part of the game is, you're like, if you imagine the universe is this big and all that information in all the universes is in me. You can't come into a grain of sand and contain that. You see, there's a mystery. Without mystery, you will run out of space. You will not be able to imagine. I'm trying to be an example for you to understand it yourself. You have to like frame this in your own way. I'm only giving you an outline. That's why I'm not going to talk about too much. I mean, it ends up coming out anyway, but I don't want to talk too much about, ooh, what was it like to be over there? That has nothing to do with why you're here. So I spent a lot of time. I took my time on the other side. Then when I wanted to come back, I understood how to get back. I knew what to do, right? So the first experience you have to get back into the in-between, which, you know, some people might know what I'm talking about when I say it's the causal plane. There's a space between physical reality that you have to enter. You have to leave your first space, and then you have to get in between, and then you define what it is that you want, and then you manifest the reality. So when I came from the causal plane to the physical plane, it was very jarring. Very jarring to forget how hard it is to remember, because I really hadn't had that experience conscious yet. You know, when you come in and you're like a badass, and you come in between and you're still feeling like kind of a badass, and, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and it's going to be like this, and these are going to be the way my parents are, and that's where you're defining, is in between. Then you make the choice to come in. You're still a soul. You're still a soul navigating, receiving, knowing that you can do anything I want. But when you do that, that's when you start forgetting. That's when you start and I was panicking because I was like, oh my God, I had all this good stuff I needed. I'm not going to be able to do this without this. And I was panicking. And so when I got physical, I was not in my body, but I was looking around and checking it out. And I was like, when I decided to come back in my body, I was like, okay, I know what to do. Let's take a deep breath. Willful, I got to want to get back in that body. I'm going to heal that body. It's going to be fine, and I can do this. And so I laid down on the ground like next to myself. And I was like laying on the ground, and I was like, I want my life back. I want to live. And boom, I was right back in my body. And all of a sudden I was like, fuck. And that's all I was doing. I was just trying to breathe. And it hurt so bad that I could hardly breathe. And that's all I was going. And they were like, oh my God, he's breathing, he's alive. And then they all came running back over to me. And at that moment, everything was hurting in a way that I had never felt pain like that. And I was like, why is this hurting this much? This is intense. I didn't think it was going to hurt. I thought I knew what I was doing. And I started freaking out. And I also realized I couldn't move. My body wasn't working. I was like, I'm breathing, but my hands aren't working. My feet aren't working. And I was like, and then I started going, I need to make stronger choices. No. And so I'm in a lot of pain. At the same time, I'm making no, I got to make really strong choices right now. I need to attach to a future that I'm walking around. And so I said, get off me. Everybody get off me. And they're like, sir, I said, I know what just happened to me. I know all kinds of shit right now. Just leave me alone. I don't need you to felt me. I don't need you to fix me. I'm going to close my eyes for a few minutes. I need to think, but don't touch me because it really hurts. It really hurts. Okay? So and I closed my eyes and I was like, I need help right now. And I just started asking for my higher self and my soul, help me. I'm freaking out. I forgot everything that I thought I was going to be able to fix myself. And I just heard a voice like, you're fine. You know what to do. And then I realized, I just realized the grasp of what I just did. And I was like, oh, I have to forgive myself for how much I fucked up right now. Like, I killed myself. I'm so fucked up. And I just start crying. And they're like, are you okay? What can we do? I was like, I'm fine. I'm just crying. And I had to like get in touch with it because, looking back, it's so mean what I did to myself. It's like, when you don't love yourself, you push yourself. Even my growth was coming from I wanted to feel good enough so bad. I just wanted to feel whole so bad. And then I had this experience where I felt it. I was like, I am amazing. And I'm feeling all that shit again. And I knew I'm going to be a quad if I don't forgive myself right now, because that's the next hateful thing to do. Why don't I just be a quad? And I was like, no, I'm not. And so I knew there's a process to forgiving yourself, and I knew the process, and I knew how to do it, and I just did it. And so I started crying, and I just let myself feel all the pain and what I had done. And I could just feel it go. I know again, once you learn how to forgive and you feel what it feels like, when you're doing it, you know it. And so I knew I did it. And I was like, I know what to do. I know what to do. And so I told him in the ambulance, and I said, look, I have to stay in charge of this situation. If you guys listen to me, I will walk out of the hospital in the morning injury-free. I could do that. And they were like, oh, okay, right on. Well, that's pretty amazing. Tell me more. And I could tell they're trying to have conversations with me because I was also I was having seizures. And I would black out, and all of a sudden I'd see I didn't know anything happened, but everything was in a different position. And I'm like, where'd I go? And they're like, you're having seizures, your brain, you got a bad head trauma. And so I said, well, when we get to ER, I need to talk to the person in charge immediately, because I knew I had to stay and author. I had to author this experience with what I knew to do. And so I said, okay. The ER guy comes to me and he's like, hey, I'm going to be taking care of you. I said, okay, then you and me need to work together. Anything you do, I just need what is the result, the best result. Best case scenario, what do you want? I don't need to know what you're testing for. I don't care. I just need to understand what's the future that I need to hear, that I need to manifest. He's like, well, you're going to do a CT scan because you're having seizures, so we know you have a brain trauma, and we need to see your brain right away. And I went into meditation. I started healing myself, and all the tactics and things I knew to heal myself using conscious reality creation. So I come out and they say, you're good, your brain's fine. It's like, we don't know what's wrong with you, but your brain's gonna be fine. But for sure you've got internal injuries, you got hit very hard, and so we need to do a MRI. I go to the MRI and I come out after meditating in there, you're fine, but for sure you got broken bones because you got broken bones. So we're gonna do a body x-ray now. Same thing, I come out of there, no broken bones. Every time I come out, everybody's like, wow, you're lucky that your brain's fine. And I'm like, well, I told you I'd walk out of here in the morning, and this is part of that future. And so in the morning, I woke up, there were 6 doctors. They asked me to tell, how did you do that? Because we're kind of blown out that you said you were gonna do this. And I told them, I said, you're not gonna understand it, but belief precedes experience, and the future creates the now. And you need to have that. You need to have a future. And they were like, okay, thank you. That's good enough. And they all left, and the cop was like, I'd never seen a body get hit like that. I've seen many accidents, and never did I see a human being get hit like that and be awake or even in a coma. He goes, that's amazing. What I learned in this experience of being here, being enlightened, and leaving and coming back was the capacity that I could change a paradigm. I wanted to be an active participant in changing the very nature of what it is to be a human being, because I know we're moving into a greater sense of being a God being, being a creator. And this is the time that the adolescent has its first opportunity to become an awakened adult. I offer a place for people to land because I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to let you believe something less when I know there's more for you and there's more for everyone. And I just have something to share. I want to see you being who you are. I want to see the beauty in the individuals around me. I want to see them shining. I'm here to remind you that there's so much love. The whole thing is made out of love. You're self-authored. You don't know that, but you're self-authored. Therefore, in order for you to receive the love, it has to come through your framework. And if your framework is one of struggle and suffering and not good enough, the love's going to come through and give you suffering and not good enough. It's not a lack of love. You're rejecting the love because you think it hurts because you don't know you're doing it. You start honoring the beauty in yourself and you start putting down those other ideas that aren't serving you, and you start recognizing life is a gift and it's yours to receive it. You see, it's not a lesson, it's not a challenge, it's not a punishment. It's your spark of God. God is all that is, and that spark has all the information it needs to create beauty everywhere, all the time.